Guy Sports Podcast, episode 235.
Sure.
Nick Quaglia, Jared Scali. The show presented by our friends over at MANSCAPED and the Couch Guy Sports site-wide sponsor at shockedenergy.com. Use promo code CGSN for 10% off your purchase.
He nailed it, everybody.
Boom.
We're
boom,
back.
boom, boom, boom. Rolling it out.
Fuck it
All
out.
right, so we're recording this Tuesday, December 7th, night after the Patriots, one of the weirdest games that I've ever seen in my life.
Ever.
Wildly weird game. Tons of wind, snow in Buffalo.
Stressful as fuck.
Stressful, but also like, and we'll talk about it as we get into the show, but like, I never felt like the Bills were going to win that game.
I mean, we'll talk about it.
We got that. We've got, we haven't had the opportunity to talk about the JBJ trade in the Hunter Renfroe. So we're going to talk about that because I've got some things to say about that. And then we got anything else that's on the list?
Not worth talking about. Tuukka Rask practiced.
I was going to say Tuukka Rask is practicing. He's a free agent. Free agent Tuukka Rask is practicing.
Yeah. Free agent in quotes.
Yeah, we'll only play for the Bruins if he's a free agent.
Everyone's saying he's coming back, but not free agent.
Yeah, I mean he's absolutely coming back. Okay, so what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about let's get the Red Sox out of the way.
Do what you want to do about JBJ, and then we'll just do the rest of it.
Let's get the Red Sox out of the way. So Chaim Bloom can't fucking breathe without people crying that we're turning into the Tampa Bay Red Sox. They can't. Anytime Chaim Bloom makes any sort of move, which, by the way, guys, I don't know if you remember last offseason, but every time he made a move, everybody was like, oh, this was unbelievable. Why are we doing small market things? We know what happened when Dave Dombrowski was here. Dave Dombrowski, and it's what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we wanted. It's what a lot of Red Sox fans want every year, but that's impossible to do. Dave Dombrowski takes your farm system, rips it apart, boom, shreds you. You had a small window to win a World Series, and that's exactly what they did. Shredded the farm system, built a team that that had the most wins in Red Sox history. One of the best teams the Red Sox have ever put together. But that's not sustainable.
The Dodgers are sustainable, and that's because they get prospects when they don't keep everybody all the time.
That's because they're the big market version of the Rays. They work on the farm system, but then they also go get people, which, guys, I have to imagine that's what the Red Sox are doing. I don't know why we act like the Red Sox are spending pennies.
Day one, Chaim Bloom even said in his press conference, if no one probably listened because no one wanted to hear it, it was, we want to be the Astros, the Dodgers. We want to be competing day in and day out every single year. The ebbs and flow, like we don't want to suck every other year. Is basically what they said. Like, just don't listen to that. That's what he said day one. We want to be the Dodgers. We want to be the Astros. Okay, great. Right. That's a good thing. And he's doing that.
He's doing exactly that. And he's building back the farm system. So that brings me to the trade. Hunter Renfroe traded to Tampa Bay in a move that nobody really saw coming. Nobody saw Hunter Renfroe being traded.
It's like 11:30 at night, too, Eastern time.
Yeah, I don't know when it was, but when it happened, it was like, what the shit? Hunter Renfroe traded to Milwaukee. In return, the Red Sox get JBJ back, Jackie Bradley Jr. back, and two prospects. And one of those prospects, very good. Very, very good. So
they're both, I think they're both in the top 30 of the Brewers system.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
What's the dude's name? The one that's 8.
8.
He was 8th. He's 8th in the Brewer system. I don't know their names because I'm not a prospect guy. I'm not a prospect guru by any means. Unless you're talking about the Red Sox farm system, then I probably know them. But I know that the two prospects they got were probably, I think, top 30, and one of them was the top 10.
Alex Binelas.
Is that guy. He's the 8th. He's the 8th best prospect in the Brewers system.
And David Hamilton came back.
Yeah, and you literally traded. You got those guys plus Jackie Bradley Jr. for Hunter Renfroe, who was good for like half a season.
And that's my point. Listen, I loved Hunter Renfroe for a majority of the season. People forget how bad he was in the ALCS, first of all. He was atrocious, and he couldn't hit the baseball.
Nope.
He was atrocious in the ALCS.
He looked like the Tampa Bay Hunter Renfroe.
And there's this idea that he's this stellar outfielder, right? And you know, he was very good this year, but he wasn't insane. Like he's not the type of outfielder that he's not like a JBJ type of outfielder where you keep him around despite like a lower average just because of his defense.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't the superstar defensive player that people make him out to be. You get JBJ back and hey, I want to tell you guys this. I don't think JBJ is going to be an everyday outfielder again.
He's your fourth outfielder.
He's your fourth outfielder. And my whole thing with this is like when Hunter Renfroe was traded, people reacted like he was Babe Ruth.
Like it was the Mookie Betts trade. They traded it like it was Mookie Betts being traded all over again. It's like, no, he shouldn't have been I wanted him out of the lineup in the ALCS in the first place. Like,
yes. And they need to bolster. Listen, if they're going to really compete and go for a World Series, they need to add some real talent. And again, Hunter Renfroe, good player. Not great. Good player. I want this kid in Japan.
Yeah.
Say what's his name? How do you pronounce it? Seiya?
I think. I don't know. We know he followed the Red Sox on Insta.
He only follows the Boston Red Sox on Instagram. At least that was as of last night for the team.
Isn't that kid a stud?
Yes,
like
he's a stud.
That kid's like a guaranteed 5-tool player.
He's an outfielder.
Yeah.
You stick him in right field. Like if that happens, people are going to forget Hunter Renfroe existed.
And this is the problem with this trade. No, I don't hate the trade. I like the trade. I'm okay with it because you got prospects. Guaranteed those prospects get flipped in a year or so for something else at a deadline to help them win a championship. Right?
That's another thing.
That's what those prospects are for.
Stalking these guys. He is stalking.
Look what the Dodgers do, right? When they make a push every year, the Astros, right? You trade prospects at the deadline. That's what these guys are all going to be. He's stashing prospects so that this year, if they're good, he can go, okay, take these two couple guys that we just got, but we want to win now, right? Like that's what he's doing. But the Jackie Bradley trade also doesn't hurt the team next year, right? I think it's an upgrade defensively. Obviously, you lose a little bit of power, but they either know something's going on in the outfield with this guy from Japan, or they know they're in on Schwarber and they think they're going to get him, right? Like because that's still in play, and apparently the Red Sox are still the favorites with Kyle Schwarber coming back. But the
Schwarber's not playing right. You put Verdugo in right.
100%, yeah. But like, and then you platoon like JBJ in certain places. I don't know what they think about Duran, right? You have options here, but I think the worst timing of this trade was the fact that it was like at the 11th hour before the lockout started. So there's a plan here, but now Chaim Bloom has to wait to execute on this plan because of the lockout. I mean, that could take 2 months, right? So that who knows when the lockout's going to end, and that's why people are going to think, oh, we just traded for JBJ. What the heck? And it's like, no, there's a plan here, but we just can't execute the rest of that plan because they're on a work stoppage.
Red Sox fans, they don't do it nearly as bad as Celtics fans do, or at least Celtics fans did for a couple years. But like a lot of them, especially on Twitter, overvalue the shit out of some of these players. You know, like because Celtics fans
so bad.
Yeah, they act like you're gonna get, I don't know, a superstar for Marcus Smart only. Marcus Smart. Like that's what I mean. Like Hunter Renfroe, again, not Babe Ruth, but with the reaction to that trade,
it could be Mookie Betts.
Huh?
You can compare him to Mookie Betts, right?
Hunter Renfroe?
Yeah, why not?
Like you said, people were acting like it was the Mookie Betts trade.
I know. It's crazy.
You got Jackie Bradley back in 2 prospects, and it's December 7th. There's going to be other moves happening. And listen, I'll have a totally different tone when it comes to this trade if we get to spring training, if the lockout ends, if we get to spring training and the Red Sox haven't actually made another move to supplement that. Because I don't want Jackie Bradley back in the lineup every day. I don't
mind him like defensive replacement, as a fourth outfielder platooning to get some guys rest. I think that's what he's at, right? Unless you're playing on a bad team, then sure, you can be an everyday outfielder. But on a team that wants to win a championship, at this point in his career, and he's done that here, right? Like you're a fourth outfielder, you have options between him, Duran, obviously Verdugo. If Schwarber comes back, he can platoon in left. Like there's options, but you just can't be relying on JBJ every day. And if you're not, then I'm okay with this trade, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's basically all I had on that. I'm just waiting for them to make another move so I can be like, all right, guys, can we stop pumping the tires of Hunter Renfroe?
Do you think this lockout ends before spring training?
I have no idea. That's the thing. That's the weird thing about this lockout. We just we don't have any information.
No.
Like it seems like they're super far apart. They had, was it 2 meetings the day, 2 days before, or a couple days before.
Yeah,
and
it ended
within
7 minutes. They lasted like 7 minutes.
Yeah. So I have no idea when this thing's gonna end. I don't think anybody does. I don't even think they do. And Rob Manfred and the owners, like they're doing their thing where they're trying to pin this on the players. It's not the players. We fans know at MLB owners, I swear to God, and Rob Manfred, they think we're stupid. They think the fan base is just dumb. It's crazy. Like we know it's not the players' fault.
I didn't read the whole report, but like their big thing is like, well, the players want these big, long, massive contracts, and we're not trying to get rid of those. We're trying to do X, Y, Z. Like they can have their 10-year, $7,000 million contracts, and it's like, no, that's not the point here. Like they like minor league baseball players need to get paid more, and all this stuff plus stuff for like, I will never side with a baseball owner ever in a negotiation situation. It's complete crap, and the baseball needs a new commissioner. Is really the problem here.
Yeah, he sucks. He's really somehow become the worst of the four, Rob Manfred.
Which is crazy because Roger Goodell is still a commissioner.
Roger Goodell exists
of the National Football League.
Absolutely wild. All right, that's all I got for the Red Sox. You got anything else on them?
No.
It's like we're not gonna really have like the hot stove's done. The hot stove is ice cold right now.
I mean, it was hot for like a week. Like, what I mean, look like Max Scherzer's going to the Mets on like a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, whatever it is. Like
3-year deal, $43 million. They are so dumb. They're so dumb.
And then Max Scherzer apparently wants Buck Showalter to be his manager, so they're looking at him now to be the manager of the Mets.
Yeah, sure. Listen, Buck Showalter, really, he's gonna mesh well.
Yeah.
With the young players for sure. Yeah. That's gonna work out well.
Red Sox interested in Trevor Story. Apparently, wouldn't hate that. There's things
I wouldn't hate it either.
Carlos Correa is still a free agent. Javi Baez went to the Cubs.
I just don't want Carlos Correa.
Trevor Story, would you rather him than Carlos Correa? Really?
I think just because Carlos Correa is such a douche.
But could you imagine? But so was Kevin Garnett, and then now everyone loves him.
Yeah, but Kevin Garnett was like a fiery douche. Like Carlos Correa is just a douche.
But think about Carlos Correa at short, Xander Bogaerts at second, Devers at third.
It would be nasty.
Tristan Cassis at first base by the time the playoffs roll around. Hitting bombs from like the 7th spot in the lineup.
Listen, it would be awesome, but I don't know. I think I'd rather have Trevor Story personally. But yeah, I mean, there's so much more that can happen for the Red Sox as we get closer to the actual season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Jared, it's holiday season.
Oh, crap,
holiday season. Oh, yeah. And you don't know what to get as a gift or a stocking stuffer, do you? Well, today's sponsor. Well, this is good because today's sponsor, MANSCAPED, has the tools to guarantee you win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition. MANSCAPED, I've never heard anybody actually call it a white elephant competition. That's just, I've never been part of one, or I've never actually heard people call it one.
A white elephant competition. Interesting.
MANSCAPED is the leader in men's below the waist grooming, and they have served more than 4 million. It's a lot of men. It's a lot of balls. It's a lot of downstairs areas. 4 million men worldwide. If my math is correct, that's almost 8 million balls. There we go. Get 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. Ho, 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 fellas. Now to your nice, 'tis the season to perform. Manscaped's best-selling product is the Performance Package 4.0, which is at the top of every man's wish list. Inside, you will find the Lawnmower Body Trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body, and the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Let's not forget their famous liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner to maximize your ball hygiene routine. Get the Performance Package now to receive their 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. The dads, they can't stop talking about this. The teens, they secretly buy this, and the women will love you for it. Now, these are our picks for Manscaped Surefire Win Stocking Stuffers. Number 1, the Manscaped 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner just launched. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Number 2, the Manscaped Cologne Infused Body Wash. Number 3, Shears 2.0 Luxury 4-piece Nail Kit is the best. I used it this weekend. Number 4, Crop Mops, Ball Wipes, and for your stanky balls. Number 5, Manscaped Signature Cologne. These formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free. Whatever that is. So you know their products are legit. Make sure you hurry to their site to ensure these wild gifts show up before the holiday season. And while you're at it, get 20% off with free shipping using the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. Whether this is for your partner, dad, brother, friend, get them something that they will actually use, and it's almost sure to get a laugh. Now listen up. Once again, get 20% off with free shipping using the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. Be the ballsiest gift giver this year with Manscaped. All right. Patriots. Listen. Last year, Twitter was loving it. Social media was loving it. The other 31 NFL fan bases were loving it. They thought the Patriots dynasty was done. They thought it was kaput. They thought it was gone forever, or at least for a few years. And then somehow, you maniacs, you lunatics, several teams in the top 15, top 14 that needed quarterbacks, several of them. There were 5 marquee names available. Somehow Mac Jones, who was rumored to go number 3, falls all the way down to number 15.
And who picked at number 15, Nick?
The New England Patriots. You let Mac Jones fall to the New England Patriots. And the thing is, he wasn't even the story last night. So this was probably one of the most hyped up games that we've had in years. Patriots, Bills, Monday Night Football. Now, unfortunately, didn't really live up to the hype because the weather sucked. The weather was horrendous. We had a lot of wind. There was snow. You couldn't really throw the football.
I'm actually kind of happy because we didn't have a show last week, just for situations.
That's true.
And everything that we would have said would have been a waste. Like, we would have previewed this game. We would have gone through everything if we could have had a show last week. And all of it would have been like complete crap. I would have said, yeah, this is Mac Jones' time to shine. He's going to sling the ball all over the Bills defense. This is going to be the time for Mac Jones. And then he threw the ball 3 times.
3 times. So,
3 times.
And this is a question that we asked last night. Like, does this bode well for Bill Belichick's coach of the year? Because Mac Jones threw the football 3 times. You went into Buffalo, into a hostile environment where the weather was insane. Mm-hmm. And you pulled out a 14-10 win. Mm-hmm. And you not only are first place in the AFC East, you're first place in the AFC.
You're the 1 seed right now, guys.
We had conversations before the season started whether or not they were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that was the win. The win was if you make the playoffs and win over 10 games, that's a successful year with the first-year quarterback after sucking with Cam last year. Like, make the playoffs and just go from there, and we'll start seeing next year. That was the win. That was our hope. That's all we wanted. Now they're the 1 seed, Nick, and they're part of the most likely matchup to happen in the Super Bowl. Do you know what that matchup is?
Betting favorites.
Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady. Right now, Bucks Patriots is the betting favorite matchup for the Super Bowl right now.
And it would be unbelievable. And listen, if the NFL's rigged like some sports bettors like to believe, you see a lot of people on sports.
That happens.
Sports betting social media. Yeah. Sports betting social media. They like to think that some games are rigged. And I am part of the belief that there are definitely some games rigged. There are some calls that just don't make any sense.
Would you, as a Patriots fan, before we answer the other question we talked about, like on Twitter and stuff, would you want that to happen as a Patriots fan? Would you want Bill to
absolutely
go up against Tom for this? What if you lose?
Stuff Tom in a locker. There's no way Bill's losing to Tom. Bill knows all Tom's tricks. He came to Gillette Stadium and he stumbled a little bit.
He didn't have Gronk though.
Oh, who cares? Kyle Duggar. That's the name.
Okay, that's fair.
He's got Gronk blanketed.
If you are a fan outside of New England, are you pissed that happens? If Belichick and Brady play each other, how do you view that as an outsider of a New England or Bucks fan or whatever? Like, what do you if you're the outside looking in as just an NFL fan who hates Tom Brady, right? Because he was with the Patriots and hated the Patriots. How do you feel about Belichick and Brady playing each other in the Super Bowl?
If you're a football fan, you want this.
I don't know if I want it. I don't know if
your team. Listen, if your team's not going to the Super Bowl and you're not a Patriots fan, you haven't been a Patriots fan, and you've just watched from afar, right? Let's just say you're a Denver Broncos fan. If you know the Broncos are most likely not going to the Super Bowl, you guys got your own problems over there. For the story, for the 2-week lead.
See, I don't know if I can do the 2-week thing.
Up to Sunday?
The 2 weeks would be so hard.
It would be unbelievable. And it's almost like it's lining up. This is what we've wanted. This is what everybody's wanted. This was the first conversation. As soon as Tom left and went to Tampa Bay, that was the idea. Could they ever face each other in a Super Bowl? Right now, it's the betting favorite to happen.
It is a 10% chance. How nuts is that? And look, do I think they could win that game? 100%. Like they should have beat them here, and they only got better.
Anybody.
And they've only gotten better since then. Like,
yeah.
Like to me, Nick, I know we're gonna talk about this. Like they are the best team in the AFC. Like I know they technically are because of their record, but like I genuinely looked up and down the AFC and go, no one's gonna beat them right now.
Well, that's
like,
the thing.
The only game-
so I think everybody can beat everybody in the AFC right now. Well, that's not true. I think the Patriots can beat anybody. I think the Chiefs can still beat anybody. Yep. And it's a much bigger test next Saturday night, not this coming Saturday, next Saturday night, because the Patriots are on a bye this week.
Play the Colts. Yep.
Playing the Colts Saturday night primetime football.
I didn't realize the Colts are also on their bye too. So you're both coming off a bye week to play
Jonathan Taylor's got fresh legs.
Play that Saturday night game.
Jonathan Taylor scares the hell out of me.
No, I think you win that game. I think they win out. I think this was the one game I was concerned about, this Monday night game in Buffalo. Like I think they might win out. And they control the 1 seed, which is nice, right? Like they went out, they're the 1 seed.
They went out, they win the 1 seed.
And now, I'll tell you this, if their road is home, if they have to go through Belichick and go through Foxborough to get to the Super Bowl, I think the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. Like
Bills, that's the thing. Like who's going to be in the way? Kansas City. Kansas City, to me, is still the most dangerous team in the AFC.
Yep, because they've been there.
Because this offense still isn't clicking the way that, you expect them to.
And they also have a pretty competent coach, right? Like Andy Reid. Yeah.
The Andy Reid, but Bill knows how to handle Patrick Mahomes even when that offense is clicking. And the scary thing is about the Chiefs is that defense looks really legit right now.
Yeah.
Really legit.
But like when you look at last night's game, you held the Bills to 10 points, right? And 7 of those were on N'Keal Harry.
Unbelievable, dude.
We'll talk about that. You should have won that game, Nick. That game was 14-3, right? Because N'Keal Harry, for some reason, like we're gonna let him field punts all of a sudden, and of course it goes off his helmet like an idiot that he is. And then next play they score a touchdown. Like outside of that, you win that game 14-3, and the Bills did nothing on you. Nothing.
Did they also get 3? Did they also get 3 on the Miles Bryant when he shoved Josh Allen, which was just the worst personal foul call I think I've ever seen in my life?
Was that the field goal drive?
Was that the field goal? Or no, didn't he miss the field goal on that one?
No, that was the drive. He missed the field goal.
Okay.
The 3 points. They really got 3 points. Yeah.
Which is so funny.
They really got 3 points. Yeah. Like I don't give him the touchdown. N'Keal Harry scored the touchdown. Like give him some fantasy points. Like.
And we're going to talk about this, by the way. If you were relying on Mac Jones last night to win your fantasy, I'm sorry.
So sorry.
What do you get? 0.4 points.
You should never have done that anyway because they're playing the Bills regardless. But like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, like the only way you were starting Mac Jones last night was if like your quarterback's on a bye and he was there. He was available for you. You grab him, you play him.
Even then, weren't there other options?
Yeah, probably. Kirk Cousins probably playing against Detroit. He looked like he would have been a good
Taysom Hill is still like sitting there, right? And he started last week, got like 20-something points. Like,
oh, I don't want anything to do with Taysom Hill. None.
You weren't starting Mac Jones over Taysom Hill this week. God no, he was the starting quarterback for the Saints. God, this game was so weird.
This game was ridiculous.
The coach of the year thing, though, I want to talk about that. Because
I want to talk about that in 1 second. I just want to ask you this really quick. The Patriots play the Bills now in 3 weeks, again at home.
Yep.
After the way that Parsons, Hyde, and Sean McDermott all reacted after the game last night, they're broken.
Soft.
Their brains are melted. Soft. No way the Bills beat the Patriots this time. 3 weeks. No way.
So the Bills, mind you, they just lost the Patriots, and now they have to go play Tom in Tampa Bay this week.
Are they 7-5 now?
Who? The Bills?
The Bills.
The Bills are 7-5, and they're about to be 7-6 after they go play Tom Brady in Tampa.
They're not going to beat Tom.
They're not going to. They never beat Tom. Tom owns the Bills. We know that. So then you're going to be 7-6, and then have to play the Patriots 2 weeks later. The Patriots might clinch the division when they play you in Gillette. Like,
oh my God, and that would be so sweet, especially because everybody handed this division to the Bills. Preseason,
100%.
Handed it to them.
But didn't we though too? Like
everybody did.
I did. Like I was like, no, it's the Bills this year. We'll figure that. We'll get the wild card. That's fine. I look at like this whole situation for the Patriots and go, okay, well, you're probably gonna win out. Like I don't think you lose that game at home. dude, they didn't throw any pass plays. They have the entire half of their offense that the Bills didn't see.
Well, that's what Bill said this morning on EEI's The Greg Hill Show. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was like, we have an entire half-hour playbook that they didn't even see. We can throw whatever pass play we want. They won a game 14-10, 14-3, right? And they threw one pass play. They have all of their passing offense that they didn't show the Bills in person at all.
You know how gross that is too, that the Bills run defense sucks. They get pushed around.
Especially Mac Jones throws like 10 times in Gillette. No, like 10, 15 times. That's it. They're going to run the ball again. They're going to run the ball again.
It's Jonathan Taylor. They're the team. Jonathan Taylor scored 5 touchdowns against.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Taylor, I'm scared. I am scared shitless of that guy.
I know, but I think you give Bill 2 weeks to prep to stop Jonathan Taylor. He's going to get his touchdowns. Like, I get it. But if Bill, we praise Bill Belichick for being able to take away the opponent's best player. He's their best player.
Now let's talk about Bill. Look at that. Boom. Hop on the segue. Mall cop style. Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom.
Segue.
Nick Quag, mall cop.
Patriots, Bill Belichick.
Holiday season.
Head coach. You ever heard of Bill Belichick before?
Greatest of all time.
This man is up for coach of the year. Has he ever won coach of the year?
I don't think so.
I don't think he has.
No,
just because
they were so good that they didn't.
That's the thing. Like, it's kind of like LeBron with the MVP in the NBA. Like, you can't give it to him every year.
Okay, but they do it in baseball. Mike Trout.
Yes, they do. But Mike Trout also might be the greatest baseball player we've ever seen.
Okay, but like Michael Jordan didn't win MVP every year. LeBron James.
But you see my point. Bill, I'll say
Mike Trout did not win the MVP this year, so we'll give him that.
And yeah, another angel, which is dude. Your
hilarious.
Team has
stop. We're not talking about baseball. We're not
2
talking about
MVPs,
baseball.
and you guys stink that bad. Fuck you. Dude, the Angels stink. I hate them.
We're not talking about baseball. They're in a lockout.
Bill Belichick,
we can't talk about them. It's illegal.
In the conversation of coach of the year, right? And then after last night's game, I posed the question, which I knew the answer to. I just wanted to get that Twitter interaction up. That's how you do it. Mm-hmm. Is Bill Belichick coach of the year still? How does that bode well for his coach of the year argument?
Shout out to Diego, who thought we were sexy for.
That's true. Shout out Diego.
Shout out Diego. Of course, he's the coach of the year, but they won't give it to him. They won't.
Yeah, but after last night's game specifically, did that increase his coach of the year or decrease?
Who votes for coach of the year?
I don't know.
It's the coaches, right?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Or is it the media? I don't know. I can look at what Bill did last night and people go, well, that's just dumb. Like, I can look at it on both cards. It's a really great game plan. I guarantee they didn't expect to run the ball that much until they got to the game and went, oh, crap. Like, we can't throw the ball. I think last night should increase his odds to be coach of the year because he had the cojones to literally just say, we're going to run the same 3 plays and we're just going to flip it. In the same formation, all they're going to do is just flip the play. Have you seen those videos, like the highlight videos of like talking through that a little bit? Like they were running through power I formation and just flipped the play. Like John O. Smith flipped which side he was blocking on, and they just went and they ran it. That went the time when they ran like, I don't remember, it was like 20-something run plays in a row before he passed it. They ran the same play in the same formation almost every single time. And all they did, Nick, every other play, they just flipped it. Went to one side.
And they couldn't stop them. They knew it was coming and they couldn't stop them.
Couldn't stop it. And it's not like Mac Jones could even check out of it because what receivers were out there? It was like double backs. Like it was insane. The fact
it was your best blocking receivers, which is the best thing N'Keal Harry does on this team.
He's a great blocker. I'll give him
Yes, he is.
He's a great blocker.
Should not be back there catching punts.
God, no. We're not talking about that. That was awful.
Also Bill, but that's also on Bill.
100%.
Nobody should have been back there.
The game plan, and this kind of speaks to coach of the year for me. Do you think the game plan of just, I'm going to run it up your asshole every time is I'm going to, I want to take your heart out and just put it on a platter in front of the entire league on Monday night to Sean McDermott.
I don't know if that was the intention, but I hope it was.
Like it literally felt like he was like, I'm going to beat you, but I'm going to beat you with one hand tied behind my back. And this is still my division. Like that's what it felt like that game plan was. It felt like it was a go screw. You're not good enough to win this division anymore. It's mine.
And you saw the reaction after too.
Oh, the Bills are so soft.
So soft. And you know, after seeing, let me see, which I like the Sean McDermott one a little bit more because I don't actually know I don't actually know the question that was asked.
So the question it was Micah Hyde and who?
Micah Hyde and Jordan Boyer.
Yeah, and someone asked them, basically, was it embarrassing to get run on like that? Like, do you feel like, were you embarrassed? Valid question, because they should be. And they basically said, like, what kind of question is that? All this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Like, and then after the whole press conference was over, Micah Hyde looks at the reporter and goes, come on, man. Like, what, you can't be asking that. Like, I sit up here every day, answer all your questions truthfully and honesty. You got to stop coming at me. You got to stop that. And I'm like, dude, Micah Hyde, like, that's a legit question. You should be embarrassed. Like, the way you're reacting to all this, and your coaches did the same thing. Like, you guys are embarrassed, clearly.
Damian Harris, 10 carries because he got hurt, 111 yards, 1 touchdown.
I bet you like 8 of those carries were on a bad hammy too.
Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson, 24 carries, 78 yards. Brandon Bolton, 4 carries, 28 yards. I mean, they ran all over you, and that was their game plan. Mm-hmm. And they had no intention of throwing the football. It was incredible. It was amazing.
I will say, though, that Jonnu Smith catch, though, the one with the wing. Shout out Jonnu Smith. Shout out Jonnu Smith. Holy crap.
Keeping max percentage up.
Yeah, gotta keep that percentage up.
Here's the Sean McDermott one. Oh, I can't hear you now. And I do this every week. I use my phone, and then it took my earpiece, my headphone, and moved it over my phone.
Yeah.
Stupid.
You still can't hear me, can you?
I can't hear a damn thing you're saying right now. All right, we're back.
Good. Are you going to play it?
Yes, I can. Sean McDermott.
Let's not give more credit than we need to give credit to Bill Belichick in this one. It was, whether it's Bill or anybody else, they beat us, right? But you sit here and you tell me when we start with the average starting field position at the 40-yard line, and he starts with the 23-yard line, and I'm rounding up in both cases, and we were 1 for 4 in the red zone, and they're 0 for 1 in the red zone. You give me that ahead of time, so I like my chances.
First of all, the only reason, Sean, that Coach McDermott, the only reason that you were in the red zone for that touchdown is because N'Keal Harry muffed a punt off his face.
Yeah, you went 1 for 4 in the red zone because N'Keal Harry got you in the red zone. Like,
yeah, that was a punt.
You basically went 0 for 3 in the red zone because you didn't get to the red zone. You didn't get to the red zone on your own.
Right, that's not the rest of it. But just to discredit Bill like that, it's crazy. Like, they are so far in the Bills' heads. I don't think they could come to Gillette in a few weeks and win. I don't think there's a chance.
This was the game they should have won. They were at home. Think about it. At home, snow game, win. This is like Buffalo football. This is what they live for. And Josh Allen's paid to win these games. Like, protect home field advantage. Bills Mafia is loud and crazy. And they just went in there and shut them up.
I guarantee you
can't handle it.
I guarantee you, Jared, if they lose next week to the Bucs, there's going to be some reports that there's some inner turmoil going on in the Buffalo Bills locker room.
Oh, 100%. There probably already is, but they're not going to report it if they win against the Bucs. It's like, oh, everything's fixed. The Buffalo Bills won against the Bucs.
They were coming unglued last night.
Nick, spoiler, they're not going to beat the Bucs.
They're not. There's no way they beat the Bucs. And if they do, hey, keeps the storyline alive for us. All right. We got anything else here? Or are we good?
You're going to miss the Patriots on their bye. No, I'm just kidding. Look, I think the Patriots are hands down the best team in the AFC. Like, I really do. I think it's going to end up being them and the Chiefs at the end because the Titans are hurt now. They're crumbling in the wrong direction. The Ravens just going to keep crapping on themselves. And then after that, it's like the Pittsburghs, the Cincinnatis of the world.
I think the Colts are a good team. I think the Colts are a good
but like eventually
team.
All you're going to rely on is Jonathan Taylor, and that's going to beat you. Someone's going to figure that out, right? Like, I don't think Carson Wentz is good enough to say, okay, I'll help you out when you're not running the ball. What happens if Jonathan Taylor gets hurt in the next 4 weeks, 5, whatever? You're screwed.
Yeah. No, you're right.
There's a really good shot. Patriots in the AFC Championship game, at least.
At least at this point, which is again crazy to say.
A year after going 7-9 with Cam.
If Bill doesn't win Coach of the Year, that is disgusting. Disgusting behavior.
Yep. Can you win GM of the Year too?
He should.
Can he win bowl? Can he win bowl?
He should. He can. He's up for both. He should.
The draft he had this year was trading out for Barmore, obviously Mac Jones, Ramondre Stevenson was his draft pick, and then you start throwing out Judon, bringing back Van Noy, all the things he did in free agency, Hunter Henry, John. Like, This dude should be what exec of the year too. I don't care how much money he had to spend to do it. He made the right choices. He picked the right players.
Patriots first place, baby. Guys, listen, we're going to be back next week for episode 236. That show also
talk about that Colts game.
Yes, we will. That show also presented by our friends at Manscaped. Use promo code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. And guys, go to couchguysports.com and check out all the content that we got going on there. We got blogs, we got videos, we got YouTube videos. We have a million podcasts, including Jared's Into the Triangle podcast, which is currently locked out because of the MLB lockout.
Can't do anything.
Follow us on Twitter too, at Nick Quag, at Jared_Scali, and at Couch Guy Sports on Twitter, and CGS Boston Pod on Twitter, which is
it's not suspended. We're good. New Twitter account.
The Boston one. The CGS Boston Pod
is the new
one.
Account.
Go follow that one because we had hundreds of followers in the last one, guys. Just transfer over. It's not that fucking hard.
Get us back there. Come on, do it.
All right, we good?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, CGS Boston Podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for watching. Have a wonderful night.